So we're looking at learning outcome 3 today. Learning outcome 3 is know how organizations develop people. So this is all about training again. So this unit mainly is centers on a lot of training and development. So we've got 3.1, which is explain the difference between training, coaching, mentoring, and counseling. 3.2, describe the learning cycle. 3.3, describe a range of psychometric tests and their uses. Then 3M1, the merit question is use examples. So using examples, describe different kinds of opportunities which organizations use to develop their employees. And then 3M2 is the second merit question, is select appropriate support to offer to individuals using a range of scenarios. And 3D1 actually follows on from your 3.1 actually. So if you notice, that and that are quite similar. So it says evaluate the benefits of training, counseling, mentoring, and coaching to individuals and organizations. First, you talk about what the differences between them. Then you're telling me what the good things about them are, what the benefits are. So let's make a start because we've got a fair bit of information to go through. So for 3.1, we're going to look at explaining the difference between training, coaching, mentoring, and counseling. Now, I've only got a couple of slides on this. So when you look at this in terms of what coaching is and what mentoring is, coaching is just someone who's there. The focus of coaching is for someone to guide you. They're asking questions. They're looking at a process where they're just working with someone, with an individual, and they're helping him or her to achieve their goals. So it's normally a short-term process, and it's normally quite focused. It's normally focused on a particular task that they want to make sure that you can do. Mentoring also helps to guide someone in achieving their goals, but it's not focused on their performance, and it's not a specific task. Mentoring is normally a bigger area that they're looking at. So they're not just teaching you one particular skill, say customer service, or they're not teaching you how to make presentations. It's normally focused on a bigger thing, and it's normally is to do with your professional and personal development of the person on their own. So coaching is task orientated, mentoring is not, it's just bigger focus. So counseling, we've got now. So counseling is there to help you to just look at the different dynamics that people have, what sort of relationships they have, what sort of behavior they have at work. So counselors and coaches, they both actually ask questions to find out what the person is like. But a counsellor will not give them tasks to do on performance. The goal for counselling is there just to help the person understand themselves and actually accept themselves as well. And then training is about getting knowledge and skills. So if you're a trainer, you need to rely on lots of different tools. So rather than just asking questions or lecturing someone, you need to be able to look at a lot of different areas and train that person. So you're giving them feedback on assignments, you're looking at the cases that they're doing, the projects that they're doing, and you're just like offering feedback and guidance and advice, and also training them in a particular task as well. So that was the difference between training, coaching, mentoring, and counselling. Are you okay with this section?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're going to look at the learning cycle, but I actually like to show you an image of a learning cycle first, just so you got a visual there for you. So we've got the learning cycle here. So a learning cycle starts off with you setting a goal. So a learning cycle will apply to anything, so it can be personal or professional development. So you're setting your goals, you're creating a plan, then you're starting to do your learning. So you set your goals, you sorted out a plan of what you want to do. Like with this course that you did first, you must have had an idea in your head. Then you looked around seeing where can I actually go ahead and do this. Then you start learning now. Then show means like what is the evidence that you've got? What sort of materials have you got together? So for this part, you'd have like your assignments, your certificates, your feedback, all of these things as you go down the line, you'll have evidence collected. And then you'll probably start thinking back on what you've done. You'll reflect on it. You'll think, oh, okay, I set this assignment in, or I did this task and I wasn't happy with this part, or I thought this, the way I managed my time was excellent. So you're just looking back and thinking back and reflecting. So once you've finished this course, you'll probably end up going back and thinking, right, what can I do now? What is my next step? And then you set another goal for yourself, and you just follow the cycle again and again until you achieve where you want to go. And you probably still carry it on in your professional life as well and your personal life with tasks and things that you're going to do in the future. So it's something you'll use without even realize that you're using it. So like we just went over, the learning cycle is a sequence of where you're looking at learning and you're instructing yourself on how to do those things. So I've just talked over what this was. There's no point in going over it, but you get things like exploration, you get concept development on there, and you get concept application. So you're exploring what you can do, how you can develop yourself, and how you're actually going to physically do it. So the first step of this is your preparation. So you're getting interested in what you want to do. You want to do a learning process. You might have some barriers where you might be like, oh, I'm not that interested in it. I don't see what the benefit of this. You might have bad feelings about it. You might have negative feelings about actually doing physical study as well, because not everybody has had the greatest experience doing exams or being in high school or college or university, any of those. So everybody has different type of experiences, and sometimes you have to overcome your own feelings of it. But in this section, the goal of this is to prepare yourself, is to help you to bring the learner's curiosity, get them to raise questions, and also think about any problems that might come ahead. Create a positive social environment, and then create a learning community through that as well. Then you're also getting your learners. So for example, if you're in a management position, this is what you'll get your colleagues to do. So you'll have your learners define what your main goals are. So get them to attend the program, find out what the goals are, give each person or each team an objective, and let them come up with lots of benefits for that objective. Try and get rid of any barriers that someone might have. So ask people to write down what their barriers are, or write your own barriers down, and then come up with any solutions that could come over them. So if you've got a time issue, you've got a finances issue, what can you do to overcome these? So if it's time management, you think, oh, I'm working full time, or I've got all these other tasks, or I get disturbed quite a lot because my family's around. So you just work out, I'll do 10 minutes today, I'll do 20 minutes today, I'll do half an hour, or I'll just do a big block of work on a Sunday when everybody's out. That type of things. And then a really good idea is, if you're going to be setting up training for some people, for your colleagues, then it's always a nice way to have good field stories for them as well. So give them suggestions of how they can overcome barriers, but then also give them a story about somebody that you might have taught previously and how they overcame barriers and what they did to make themselves learn, and so on. Then you've got presentations. That's the second step. So you're going to look at new knowledge and skills. You're getting an idea of exactly what you want. You're encountering new things. And then you just need to gain that knowledge and that skills. So things that are meaningful to you, that will work with your own learning style. So there's a lot of learning styles. It's where you can be visual. Some people learn by looking, by seeing presentations, looking at pictures. Some people learn by hearing, and that's auditory, is where they'll talk back, they'll record sessions, they'll physically want to just hear their tutors talk. Some people are a bit more intellectual, where they'll just learn by reading and writing. So they'll be with this here now. If you're going through the session later on, when you're sitting down and you're making notes, that's you learning, putting all that information into your head through an intellectual way, through read and write, it's also called. And then some people will learn by doing, so that's called kinesthetic learning style. That is where you're actually, these are where apprenticeships or certain tasks are good, where you actually physically do something. If I tell you how to change a light bulb, You don't want to just be telling you how to do it. You'll physically want to go and do it yourself. Or if you physically doing a mechanical job or an engineering job or something where you want to learn how to cook something, you don't want to be told how to do it. You'll physically want to go and get your hands dirty and get it done. So these different learning styles actually appeal to a lot of different people. Now, I did a learning style questionnaire on myself about 3-4 days ago, and I did this because I was teaching another course about wanting to conduct, they needed to carry out a learning style. So I thought, okay, I'll do one as well. And I got to find out that I'm a 55% visual learner. So I learn by looking at PowerPoints, and I do like images and things that will support me in that way. I have got other styles where I will do a bit of reading and writing or note taking, but mainly I learn more through seeing things. And it's always a nice idea to know what your style is, because it really does help you when you go down and carry on with your studies. So with the learning style, we do practice as well. So we look at new knowledge and skills. We try and integrate these skills as well. We look at any opportunities that we can have that we can actually go and learn these skills. So you can do things like have hands-on trial, have feedback, look back at things that you've done, have simulations, take part in learning games, take part in any exercises. So if you're the trainer, then you're teaching a group of colleagues who have come in and they want to learn a new task. This is how you can get them to do it, by just getting their hands dirty and practicing it. So again, this actually helps the person to reflect on what they're doing. It helps them to speak about what they're doing. It'll give them a way to actually develop on the team building and also practice their skills because of these activities. Then you've got the performance section here. So this is where you're applying the new knowledge and skills. So everybody needs to have a chance to apply what you've done. So for example, if you sit down there and someone keeps telling you information, you're only going to sit down and you're only going to understand 5% of what you've retained. You're only going to get that much information in. But if I send you off now and I say, Victoria, right, here's, I'm going to be showing you how to wire a plug. And I physically show it to you, and you just sit there and you do nothing, and you just see me do it, you'll probably remember 5% of it. But if I say, right, I've wired this plug, here you go, I want you to practice on this one yourself. Can you do it as well? You're actually going to be able to retain 90% of that new knowledge and skill, because with the physically being able to practice it and carry out that task, it does help you to get more knowledge and to keep it within your head as well. So it's always a nice idea. Teach someone what they're doing, but then let them go and apply it themselves as well. It really does let the student or your learner learn a lot more. So this will come into handy, especially when you're in a position where you're teaching, you're in a management position and you're trying to teach others things. So rather than just say it to them, get them to physically do it as well. So there are some approaches to this. So it helps you with the real world application. You're just actually physically getting to do what you're talking about. It gives you an idea to create any action plans and actually carry them out. You'll be reinforcing your activities, so you're not boring everyone by just talking. You're actually physically going to be doing it. So it gives you other opportunities, like you can do ongoing coaching, you can support them peer-to-peer, and then you can also give them evaluation and feedback. So are you okay with the learning cycle, but is there any points you'd like to go over?
Not really, I think I got it.
Yeah, it's nice and explanatory, especially when it's broken down, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we've got 3.3. So remember, we talked about psychometric testing and assessment centres yesterday, where they just looked at different type of tests. You told me about a job that you went to, was Lidl? And they gave you a questionnaire to fill out. They were actually doing...
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just gave you a questionnaire, you filled it out and so on. And they were, rather than doing a formal interview, they did a different style. Sometimes they can have formal interviews and these tests. So there's lots of different tests that are there just to find out what sort of aspects you have. So they might find out about your personality, you know, about your mental ability, how you will work in conflict and how you'll work in difficult situations. So these things are quite, so these things are quite difficult. So if me and you were just sitting face to face and you're carrying out an interview for me, you'd only know what I'm telling you. So it really does help. So you've got achievement tests. These are there to just find out what sort of things you've learned in training or formal education. So it helps somebody just display what sort of knowledge they have. Then you've got a lot of different type of achievements tests, which are used in human resources departments. So you've got survey battery test, which is a junior level test, and it helps you to evaluate learners, beginners that have come into a course fresh. Then you've got a single survey achievement test, and this focuses on a single area. So if you're asking someone to become an accountant, like we look at the accountant advertisement on the first day we did these sessions, job specification, they said that you need to have a particular skill in Excel. So you could do a single survey achievement test just to see how much expertise they actually have in that area. Then you have a diagnostic achievement test, and this helps you to just check the individual's achievements. So from the beginning to subject level expertise. So it's an all-rounded test where they're checking lots of different areas of you. Then you've got aptitude tests. So this test will actually look at what your knowledge is on a particular topic. So it helps to find out what your own ability is and what sort of specific skills you have. So for example, I've got a lot of knowledge in phonics and early teaching. That's what my base was. That's how I started off in teaching. So I could excel in that test. But if somebody said for me to go and do a knowledge test on, say, engineering, I probably wouldn't do very well in that because that's not my specific skill. So these aptitude tests will check what your abilities are. They might do it on like math skills, so numeric tests, or it might be like verbal ability tests. So if you're going for a call center or somewhere in a place where you're going to be speaking to a lot of clients on a high volume basis, they want to check what your verbal ability is. So you can see how you interact with people or what sort of math skills you've got. So it can be in different professions.
Will I need to remember the names of these things?
These things you'll actually see if I come to here. You'll have this. Oh, by the way, you should also be enrolled now. I've checked last night and I was told that you should have access. So you'll be able to see what I see. When you're doing your assignments, you can just open these PowerPoints and you can come back for each section and just check what the names were or what these were. But also,
when I do that assessment, I can go back to it.
Yeah, everything's available for you because the assessment is just like, do you know when we were in school and we did essays?
Yeah.
That's all it is. So you're going to get like an essay base. You're going to get your questions. I'll give you those next week. I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. And then you're just going to go off and write things down, add pictures, make it interesting, and then you're going to send it to me. I'll mark it, and if it's fine, I'll say, this is fantastic, well done, you've got the grade you wanted. If it's not...
It feels less stressful because I don't need to worry.
It's not. Yeah, don't worry about it because then I'll tell you what's missing.
So this will help me to get into university?
Yes, this course itself, if that's what you're aiming for, level 3 will help you to... this certificate will help you to go towards that, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Then we've got different aptitude tests, just like a general aptitude test where they just check your normal ability and comprehension. They check your verbal skills, your numerical skills, your reasoning skills. Then they have verbal and non-verbal aptitude tests. They'll help to know what your ability is, like your grammar is, you know, how you get to decisions and so on. Then you've got quantitative aptitude tests. So this is just checking your maths abilities. So all of these different tests, just really check how you're doing, what your capabilities are. In some areas you'll be fantastic at, some areas you won't be that great at, but that's the same for everybody who does these. And then you've got attitude tests, so it'll just check on what sort of attitude you've got. So have you got, if you're going to be working with a lot of LGBT customers, then you don't want to have a bad feeling towards or any sort of discrimination against these particular people. You don't want to have a particular discrimination against women or men or people of some certain ethnic minorities. So these type of attitude tests will actually help the organization know if they should hire you or not, because then they'll be able to see if you're going to be a good fit for them or not. So again, there's loads of ways these tests can take place. You can physically go and do them in a workplace at an interview, or you can do them online. It can be part of your application process where they can get all these results straight away. So it's a million ways that they can actually just check what sort of behavior, what sort of emotions you've got, what your skills are, what your attitudes are. And then again, they're done through the hiring process. They're not hard to design to get a psychometric test. There's a lot of that are already made and available, but then you just sort of like tweak them. So if you were going to be in a position where you're going to be hiring people, you'll be tweaking them and changing them in accordance to what your company standards are. So that was 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3. So we looked at training, coaching, mentoring, and counselling. We looked at what the learning cycle is, and we looked at different psychometric tests and why they're used. Now, I've got a couple of other things we're going to look at. So we're going to look at 3M1. We're going to look at different kinds of opportunities which organizations use to develop employees. So I've got a document over here, so in a nutshell, these are the opportunities which a company will use to develop their employees, give them training and mentoring and those type of things. So they can give them online training sessions and webinars. So these are quite cost effective because they can be done in your employee's time. They can take a fraction of the time. So rather than sending someone out to a course or a training session, which might take them a full day, it might be a 3-hour session, but then they have to travel there and they have to travel back. So you're probably changing it into 5 hours where one person will be out of work for the whole day. But an online training section, I can be sat at work and I can just log on, do it, and then after the 3 hours are done, I can log off and come back and carry on with my daily tasks. So they are cost effective. You can have manager coaching and mentorship. So coaching is somebody helping you, giving you new feedback and direction and telling you what to do. You can do classroom style learning. You can do peer coaching. So if we were both working together, you had more experience than me, you could be my coach and you could come and say, Afsha, right, this is what we're going to do. And I'm going to teach you a few things. And you could teach me particular tasks. And then you can do cross training where there might be employees in different areas of your business, in different departments or a different office that is still under your organization. And you might just want to help each other to learn new skills and techniques. So those are just a few opportunities that you can use to help your employees to develop. And then 3M2, we're going to look at appropriate support that is offered to individuals. So this is, you're just supporting your employees in general. You're giving them coaching, mentoring, counselling. You're taking part in the coaching process as well. So these are the different type of things that you can go and support your staff members in as well. So a lot of these things you've already come across. And then finally, we're going to look at evaluate the benefits of training, counselling, mentoring and coaching to individuals and organisations. So we've just got a few bits on here. So the benefits of training are, it makes employees competitive, it keeps them motivated, it helps them to develop positive attitudes, it's cost effective because it's a time saving method as well. It improves the bottom line. So if you're helping your employee to get new training, you're actually boosting their performance and productivity. They're going to be more beneficial to your company. Then you've got benefits of counselling. So it helps you to improve your self-esteem and your self-confidence. And then it gives you good social skills as well. Then it helps you to get acceptance over things. So something might have gone wrong at work, or you might be feeling like you're left out. And it really helps you to accept things that are right and that are wrong and address any issues that you might have. It helps you to relate to other people and understand other people better. And it also helps you to find out things that you might want to hear. So it just helps you in general to feel a lot more self-confidence and develop your self-esteem as well. And then the final section, we're going to look at what the benefits of mentoring and coaching are. So we both know that mentoring is non-specific. It's a longer process where you're focusing on the person and their professional goals in total. But coaching is where you might just be, somebody might be coming in and teaching you a particular task or process. So both of these are really effective learning techniques, especially if they're done one-to-one. Because then you can really find out, ask questions and really open up and get to understand each other. It can be formal and informal. So mentoring is normally a bit more informal because it's a longer process, and coaching can be more formal. Both of these can help to engage your employee and keep them in the job as well, so they'll be happy, they'll want to come to work, and they'll want to stay there as well and work for you. And then mentoring and coaching are quite easy to implement in any organization because you're doing it within your work. You're one employee helping another. You're not bringing anybody from outside to come in and do anything. And again, they can help to increase your confidence and your interpersonal skills, and they really give someone satisfaction of actually achieving the training and the knowledge that they're getting on a coaching and mentoring basis. So that was the distinction section. Do you have any questions or any points you'd like me to go over about any of the unit?
No, it was quite clear today.
Yeah, so that's good. That's fantastic. So let's